It is a legacy, and Bill Denton did something that was unheard of, and we want to achieve something of that and keep moving forward, and I think we can.
In today's construction industry, the safety and well-being of workers is paramount. As the sector evolves with new technologies, materials, and methods, so too must the solutions that protect that workforce. Take safety footwear, something we probably all take for granted and a little bit obscure to be on a podcast about disrupting construction, right? It's an essential line of defense, keeping our little piggies protected. But did you know that innovative developments are not only being used on screens, but in our footwear, combining tech, compliance, and sustainability to meet demands of a modern job site? From addressing enhanced safety standards to integrating sustainable manufacturing practices, the journey of innovating protective gear is a testament to how the industry values its people. It's not just about functionality anymore. Comfort, design, and ethical production are shaping the future of how we safeguard those on the ground. So it's time to delve into the ever-evolving landscape of workforce protection and explore the advancements redefining safety footwear for the construction industry with today's guest. Rhys Elavia is the UK sales manager for the iconic brand Totectors. As a third-generation member of the Totectors family, Rhys brings a deeply personal connection to the brand's history, having witnessed its evolution and resurgence firsthand. From its emergence during World War II, Totectors' fate depended on a 48-hour poker game where founder Bill Benton wagered everything on securing the rights to steal toe cap technology from inventor Arthur Williams, and in doing so, transformed the UK safety footwear industry forever. Today, Totectors continues its legacy as part of International Brands Group, remaining at the forefront of design and innovation. Rhys, welcome to the podcast. And did I miss anything from that background or little bit of history on Totectors?
No, so firstly, thank you for the beautiful introduction, Peter. And I think you're absolutely right. The Totectors as a brand is so much more. It's a legacy. And my background to it is that I'm third generation of my granddad worked in Totectors in Rushden, and then my mum and dad actually met there as well. And then my generation's come into this where IBG they basically have acquired the brand and are looking to rejuvenate it. And that's where my story begun with Totectors, which is really nice.
Fantastic. That's great. So I'm so chuffed to get you on because of that history and your knowledge and your connection. It's very rare we get to talk to people that are so ingrained and intertwined in the history and legacy or something. So let's get into this and start with a little bit of that. So Totectors is a name synonymous with innovation and reliability in safety footwear. As a third generation ambassador of the brand, you've got to maintain that balance between honoring a storied history but adapting to modern consumer demands. You're almost involved bridging this gap to keep Totectors relevant and revered. So how do you ensure the heritage remains strong, but you drive into new innovations, designs, and modernization?
I think it's quite simple, actually. As you said, it's a legacy, this. So when you go back and you want to bridge the gap between modernisation of footwear and what it was old school, the story of this was where, obviously, like you've stated, is where Bill Denton travelled, saw that there was a requirement back then to design a steel toe cap boot to protect workers that were fueling the war effort. And then he travelled to meet Arthur to design something that had never been done. And he had to paint basically the design of the steel toe cap and then put it in an everyday shoe. So when you look at the family of Bill Denton, Wilkins and Denton always made everyday footwear. So what everyone wore, they literally just stuck a toe cap in it. So from our story is basically it's as simple as this. We have done exactly the same, and we have looked at all the consumer trends, what people wear on the weekend, looking at that Gen Z consumer and gone, fashion is all about, it's all fashion conscious, and they want to wear something that makes them feel and look good.
Mm-hmm.
And to basically bring that together, it was our designers just come up with a design brief, and with the experience of our owner Ed, he basically said, blank piece of paper, we're going to be the stylish, coolest safety brand out there. So rather than taking the traditional look, we decided to merge the two together, stick to the same story principle, but then bring the two together to design something that is stylish, but still stays to the name as Toe Tector. So it's still synonymous. It's still built with safety product, but our story is to make it stylish so it fits the new generation.
Okay. I mean, that's quite a bold thing to do if you think about. I was just trying to think of something that's linked, so I'm just going to go completely off at a tangent. If you think about something like toothpaste, toothpaste is toothpaste. We can mention brands, and some people have their favorite. But if you just had it in a white tube, the chances are, other than a bit of flavor, you probably wouldn't be able to tell what brand is what from a toothpaste. But to take something that is so traditional and is just, I just need a work boot, and try and bring it into more style and fashion and something that is iconic and revered is quite a feat and very ambitious.
It is, and I think that's what do you want the brand to stand for? And I think this is what we said at the start. We want to be the brand that people want to wear, not have to use. And in this industry, it has always been dominated black boots. And basically, no one ever wanted to take that challenge on. They wanted to stay safe. It is a legacy. And Bill Denton did something that was unheard of. And we want to achieve something of that and keep moving forward. And I think we can. And for us to grow, you have to have that USP. You have to be bold and different. And we truly believe that we can take the brand and merge fashion, style with safety. And this is something that needs to be done. And what we're seeing is it works. And our tagline is keep your look. What you wear on the weekends, you can now take to work. And that is our core message to everyone. You can wear something cool and still be safe and still have the pleasure of something comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's stick with that train of thought then. And looking at the construction industry, it's at this moment in time, and this is why the podcast exists, and this is what I do as a marketing consultant. It's rapidly evolving with tech and new material. Science is opening up new possibilities in safety and performance, particularly in workwear, which some of it we just take for granted that it just does this thing. I think there was a report back in '92, so we're talking a long time ago. Couldn't find a more recent one, but it said that 60 construction workers a week seriously injured their feet in site accidents. I'm pretty sure that's got better since 1992, just because of PPE developing and things like that. With the growing emphasis on worker comfort, environmental sustainability, and enhanced safety, I think all three of those are prerequisites required for PPE now. So could you talk to us through any more recent innovations that you've brought to market, or do things just not simply change in footwear?
No, I'll be honest. If you go back through all history, there's always been change. And in safety, it's our duty to keep pushing boundaries. So in terms of fabrics, in terms of sole units, in terms of the technology we use, it's come a long way. And we used to welt stitch. Now we literally strobel construct footwear. So it's built better. If you look at fabrics today, you've gone from leather, you've got microfiber uppers, you've got Carino. And I think it's pushing the boundaries. And what we're trying to achieve in Toe Tector is we have some of the best people from the sports industry. And what they've done at IBG, and our owner's gone best designers for the aesthetic look, and then we've got a product team and a sourcing team out in the basically in the NL and in our factories sourcing the best materials from the sports industry. And I think this is what you said there. From 1992, there would have been a standard base of footwear. It serves a purpose because it's built to a standard. It's got a toe cap, it's got a midsole. But how long does that person stand on his feet? What terrain do they work on? How can we better protect that person by engineering a better boot? And that's how we look at it. So when you look at, for example, this beautiful specimen, the Williams, we've basically said we used Clarino, which is a new fabric. So it's a Japanese crafting material. So when you talk about innovation, this is a USP in the market. And what you get from that upper is it's 30% lighter than leather. It's tougher than leather. It's got a thinner gauge than leather. It's got recycled nylon microfibers in it. It's got improved recovery. So you know where you get leather and it starts to crinkle and break down. This won't. And it's more stable in wet conditions. And there's less cutting yields. So it's less waste. So when you get a piece of leather, a nubuck, and you basically, there might be blemishes on it or whatever it is. When you use this, there's less waste because it's a man-made fabric. But the beauty is that it has seamless design. And what you said there is absolutely right. If you look at the modern worker today working in London, he goes from concrete, he could be on the tube, he could be on the train station, it could be anywhere, any transport, and then he has to go to site, and then he has to do ladder, he has to do everything. So what we said is we want to design a boot that meets all the requirements of the modern day consumer. And we basically said sole unit, we want it to be a higher slip rating. We want to innovate. We want to have a better midsole technology, what you have in sports, to give them the comfort they need and have longevity in the project. And it's all about building something for the consumer of today. And that's what we've done.
Yeah, that's cool. My dad was a joiner. He was a joiner for 50 years. Same company, same role. Did he love it? Not quite sure, to be honest. But that's by the by. But the reason I mention that is because I remember being younger and his work boots being by the back door. And for as long as I remember, the boot changed in terms of every year, 2 years, whatever, they'd get new boots. But the style, the color, the design, that never changed. And I vividly remember that, weirdly enough, a work boot, but I just remember it because like it was always there at the back door, past it every day. And that never really changed at all.
No, it didn't. And this is where I think the experience of our owner and what they've come across over the years and our management team, and they sat down and went, we want to make a difference. The whole purpose of this was that it's always been looked at as a necessary item and never something that someone wants to put on. And what you said there is right. So for example, this colorway is new to the UK market because in Australia, that's a really big trades market. They love that stone grey colorway. And now our best seller on that boot is the grey, which traditionally would have been basically a wheat or a black boot. But it goes to show that you can bring new colours in and be bold and say, this is for you. What do you think? And we have to keep pushing that and looking at fashion and looking at colours. And our design team do that all the time. They'll go to JD Sports Retail, they'll go to Foot Asylum, and they'll go in the shops and they'll go, what is the trend colour? And that's how we think all the time. It's pushing the boundaries of what safety footwear looks like, and we'll always keep doing that.
That's really cool. Right, I want to move things on ever so slightly. I'm in marketing, you're in sales. Best buddies, as always. But we're both on the front line of the business, acting as the bridge between a company and its customers and clients. And yourself, you play a critical role in maintaining that brand presence within the market in the role that you actually do. Effective sales strategies can foster lasting customer relationships, as we know, and ensuring repeat business and also brand loyalty. So how do you ensure that your current customers or even new customers that you're bringing on board remain loyal to Totex's brand and products?
I think firstly, I think you have to, the role of sales and building the brand and marketing, we need to be together. And if you look, the difference between branding and sales is simple. Are you trying to convert or are you trying to create an experience? And the latter always wins. And I look at marketing are all about brand, and it's all about the consumer, and it's all about what they want. And our team do a fantastic job. They know that market, and they've dove in and said, what is it people want from this generation? And then for me, the marketing team are doing a great job advertising the brand and making it look cool and really using modern techniques in the photo shoots. And for me, what that entails is I look at myself as a brand ambassador more than a salesman.
Okay.
Because if I'm a brand, I want to go to the shops and I say, you're a new Totex's retailer. How are we going to support you? This is how the brand looks. This is your customer that comes in every day. So we want, if we walked into a JD store, how would the footwear brand look in the store? So my job is basically, I always said that we must look at our core consumer, and then we opened up the retail channels that basically get our product to them as quickly as possible. So when we started this journey, we basically said we want something for an electrician, plumber, something for basically a builder and then a builder's merchant. And we picked partners. And from that gave us a platform to deliver the product that the consumer wants through the fastest way through retail. And we're now working with some absolutely major. In 2 years, we've doubled in sales each year on year. And we're now on Screwfix, Toolstation, Travis Perkins' website. And we are working with Green and Bunzel on the contract levels. And we literally have now doors and everyone has access. And my job is just basically tell people what we want to change in the industry. And I'll be honest, there's a fine line. I am a salesman, and some people come up to me and they say, I sit in a meeting, can you build me this boot? Can you take this product and build me the same for a price? And we are pushing back on that, because the moment we do that, the brand brand identity completely changes. And we're all about, we want to be just like fashion, fast moving. And we will tell everyone, we will continue to bring out new products year on year and design it based on fashion. So we've gone Denton, which is this beautiful product here, sleek on the toe, stylish. That was first generation. It really did emulate what we wanted to achieve in terms of design and aesthetics. And people actually went, is that safety? And this is what we say to a retailer. We've got great sell-through and we've got great product. And then we bring out the Williams for the construction market, bringing longevity and style to that part of the market. And we'll bring out another product. So this isn't just a one-off thing. We want to aspire to be the number one, basically, stylish safety footwear brand in the UK and the world.
What I noticed in doing research is that your comms seem very different to any other kind of footwear in the market, which, going back to what we were saying, makes you massively stand out. And it's with sales and marketing, it's sticking to that and honoring that and maintaining that consistency of, this is who we are. We don't just do this. We do it our way. We do it this way because we believe it's the best way, and we're listening to our consumers, and that's what they want. Which is cool. Really, really interesting comms.
It is. I think that is the key. I do believe that our marketing team have really pushed the boundary and changed the safety. Everyone has come to us in the industry saying, look how different this looks. And I think that is compliment to the team and everyone in this business, that we want to push it, and we want to be different, and we want to stand out. And I do believe that eventually, and look, and this has caught fire, and basically now we're working in New Zealand on the same, and they get the comms. And the beautiful thing is the tradesmen, they get it, and they understand it, and that comes from the marketing team, and the message is clear. And then I have to deliver that as an ambassador.
Absolutely, I love that phrase, ambassador. That's not your title, but or on paper it's not your title, but ambassador is a really cool way of looking at it. Just want to change direction ever so slightly. So we're talking about trends, design, style, fashion, things like that. But let's pull it back into safety, which is in our industry a non-negotiable. So you've got to align with stringent regulations while developing alongside changes in safety standards to be at the forefront of compliance and innovation, which you stand for, such as, I'll probably get this wrong, but ISO 20345, protecting the wearers from bumps, crushes, falling, rolling objects, sharp and pointed objects, heat or cold, and hot substances. A lot. So how do you ensure that toe detectors consistently exceeds these industry requirements, safety standards, and compliances, and isn't just the bare minimum?
So this is where you have two parts to our team. So you've got the designers with the image, and they get their brief, and then you have our team that basically they look at it from a legislation. And you're absolutely right. Legislation lately has changed. In 2022, the new directives come out, and basically, which is beautiful actually, because legislation should always test you, and we want to be tested. So our product is S7. So what we've said is if for example you can test the scuff cap, so basically you're protecting the forefoot. So SC stands for basically toe cap, and it's wearability and abrasion. And then you get a ladder grip rating, now LG ladder grip rating. So what you have to do is design. So not only do you have to do the aesthetics, but you have to design the boot in a way to meet that standard. And this is the really hard part. So when you look at the ladder grip, there has to be a 90-degree angle on the boot, and there has to be space for it to grip. So you have to still keep that look and merge it, but we can't stand still, and safety will never stand still. There'll always be changes in legislation, but our team are literally, we have our own accredited lab. We do all in-house testing, and now the slip rating is even higher. So where you used to have SRC slip rating, and this is what I've said to safety officers and health and safety managers across the UK, it's now changing to SR. And now and basically the reason is for that, because you have to keep improving it. And if you look at the construction statistics, I think it's third. The main cause of accidents, like you said, is ankle rolls or slips and falls. So you have to make sure that you've got the ultimate slip resistance, and that comes down from the compound, what's in the unit, and also the pattern. So in our sole units on the Williams, you'll have gates for water dispersing channels. The contact area here and here are different from the middle. So where I was saying about building a product to meet universal terrain, where you're going on concrete to think, we looked at all of that. How can we maximize grip and prevent accidents? And we basically, even to keep the look of the shoe, to meet the toe cap dual hit, we used aluminium, so it basically gives you the sleek look on the toe. So we will always make sure we meet that. And then if you look at the new Clarino fabric, it's even clop tested, which is basically a chemical resistance. So if you couldn't get that, it's very difficult to achieve that with a traditional leather. But with a Clarino and using new innovation in fabric, you can get that test. So when I look at the Williams and I go, it's S7, it's waterproof, it's to the highest spec, it's got the highest slip resistance, it has a sole unit that's completely revolution, because it's not just a unit that's on a shelf that's always been used. We've designed it to specifically, and everything we do and build and everything we put into it is designed in-house. So it's all bespoke. It's never just a unit that we just pick off a shelf and say, put it on the boot, it meets. We'll always push. And to answer your question, all of our products will be at the highest level, and we will keep pushing that S7 and keep trying to push. And legislation will change, but for a safety officer, you're absolutely right. On site, what do they need? Is to make sure the wearers are safe at all times, and to prevent as many falls, trips, accidents as they possibly can. Yeah. So, and that's where we are with our product.
So this is why I like talking to people that have got knowledge and are passionate about what they do. Is it doesn't matter it could be a screw, it could be a bolt, it could be a shoe, it could be toothpaste. There's so much more that goes into it, from the design and the quality and the fabric and compliance and things like that than you ever imagine it from the outside looking in. Like you spoke about the 90-degree angle for ladders, didn't even cross my mind. Water dispersion from the sole didn't cross my mind. It's like things like that that are that's like a phenomenal level of detail.
Yeah, and that's where I have to say, what the product team we have, it's just amazing. The amount, it's even, for example, if you look at someone we build products for high tech and worldwide, and our background outdoor, and you look, you want rigidity in the midsection of the boot. So we even put a TPU shank in the middle of the boot, so it gives you that torsional rigidity, so you don't roll. So when you're on rocky terrain, it's all those elements, and you have to look at it that way. And that's where we get it. And that's where I'll say to the team, it's brilliant. So if you want, a lot of people are struggling to meet the new SR. And the reason that is because it's such a higher form of test. They're having to change the units to adapt them to meet it. And having these dispersion channels of water and like gets it all out, it means that nothing gets stuck in it. And even to the degree we've even got a wearer, so like a tread on a tire where it shows you the levels. We've even got a wear indicator on the product to show you how much longevity is in the boot. So this is a 4 mil lugged sole unit, and it basically, once it gets to a level, you have to replace your boots because it's no longer, it's not good for sight. So you're giving everything to the consumer they need, and to a health and safety officer. So for me, and it is. It's amazing because it's like, if you're a health and safety officer and you've got this next generation of Gen Z coming through, and you're saying, "Right, put your boots on, lads." First thing, you've got the style of this that makes them want to put it on and keep it on. So that's a win. And then you have all this innovation and legislation and standards in that product to make them keep it on and the health and safety is happy, because there's nothing better.
Yeah, absolutely. So final section is about the manufacturing process and how that works. I mean, you're setting, or it feels like you're setting benchmarks and standards all across this section of the industry, and sustainability and ethical practices in safety footwear should be no different to the legislation and the style and the fashion. So what steps are you taking to integrate the likes of sustainability and more ethical manufacturing processes into the boots and the shoes and the protective footwear that you create?
I love this subject, because we all passionately, as you said before, when you look at footwear, there's so many components. So for us, I think, as all footwear manufacturers look at this, and we all say the same, how do we complete that product life cycle? How can we design something that can go from production and have post-waste content all the way through to be recycled and reused again? Okay. And this is something that I think we all have to aspire to, and we're doing everything we can. So if you look at our factories, we're ISO 9001, we're 14001, which mean nothing, but it's not what it used to be. They're super clean, and these facilities are state of the art. It's top grade manufacturing. These are the best people in the world, and we've got a great team. And then you have to look at packaging elements. So everything in the toe protectors, from the box, we used the ink that we use is friendly, it's recyclable packaging and everything else. And then if you look at the actual boot, like the Williams, the upper, if you use the new buck, it's very hard to reuse leather. It's as simple as that. But if you look at the Clarino, it does have post waste. If you look at the toe cap, can we recycle the sole unit? There's so many different things, and there are companies that are trying to build recycling machines to break down the components of the boot so they can reuse it, or melt down the toe caps, or use the rubber for sole units and make it into matting. And we try to do everything we can, but I think as well, the truth is we will aspire to try and achieve this, and everyone will. But if we can, longevity is the biggest key at the moment. If we can make a boot last twice as long, 3 times as long, it helps us. It really does. And that's why when you build product at a premium and make it into something that's really sturdy, strong, you can overcome that. But there will be a process one day, and I don't think it's far away. Really don't. If that answers your question.
Absolutely, 100%. Rhys, it's been fascinating talking to you. Your passion comes through fantastically, which I love. You're so knowledgeable about the brand, the industry, the products, which is amazing. And you just it feels like you really enjoy talking about this stuff, which makes my life easy.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, it's been a pleasure. I think the message from us is you have to give full credit to the owners of this business, and I say that because the vision came from them, and the whole story of the beautiful brand that was. It is a legacy, and Bill Denton did something that was unheard of, and we want to achieve something of that and keep moving forward, and I think we can. So yeah, it's onwards and upwards from us. And I think the whole team's done a great job from 2 years to be where we are here today. And there's so much. I might be the face and the passion, but there's so much that goes on behind me that I'd like to just at the end just say the team have made so many efforts to make this possible, and it doesn't get noticed. So I thank them as well.
Oh, amazing. What a gent as well. What a way to end it. Rhys, thank you so much for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure.
No, thank you, Peter. Thank you for having us on. Cheers.